Okay.
G'day, Anthony Albanese here. I've just returned from a very important meeting in Davos with my good friends. With important global stakeholders, where I proudly signed Australia into the Global Harmony Food Initiative. But what does that mean for you? Well, nothing to worry about. Just a few small adjustments to align our food supply with global standards. First, we'll be implementing consumption tokens for animal products. You start with 100 tokens per month, decreasing by 10 each year until we reach the target of 0. But don't worry, there's an unlimited supply of tokens for cricket flour and algae paste. Second, we've agreed to the Farm Rationalisation Protocol, meaning 85% of Australian farmland will be converted to more globally beneficial uses like solar farms owned by foreign investment funds and rewilding projects no one is allowed to visit. Third, we'll be installing smart fridges in all homes by 2027 that will monitor food usage and automatically report non-compliance, from each according to their refrigerator capacity to each according to their carbon allowance.
Stiff skin, tight brain in a spin. Dark skin pills, never asked what's within. Pain in the gut, pressure in the chest, but the kale and the smoothies never gave me rest. Then I dropped the plants, turned up the meat, tallow in the ponds, steady heat in the fire. It faded. From daily aches to calm and clear. Now I move sharp, pain disappeared. My body what it needs to thrive. Now I move through the day, fully alive, yeah. Histamines, oxalates, nightshade spin. They called it healthy, but tore me within. Every salad came with pain, I denied. But steak lit a piece, I'd never tried. Bone broth deep, fat runs clean. Red meat life, not a diet, it's a dream. I ditched the flare, I found my flame. And healing never felt so sane. No shame, no game. Drop the plans, walk out the flame. Feel the calm in your core, carnivore, lit me up, now I roar.
I'm particularly proud that Australia will be the first to adopt the Child Nutrition Alignment Program, where children's school lunches will be monitored by AI to ensure they're eating the correct amount of lab-grown protein paste. Now, some conspiracy theorists might call this a loss of sovereignty or end of food freedom. That's ridiculous. We haven't lost our sovereignty. We've simply recognised that national boundaries are an impediment to proper food justice. The international proletariat must unite under one nutritional standard. Remember our new national food motto: you'll own nothing, taste nothing, and you'll be happy. follow for more global governance updates that definitely aren't eroding your sovereignty. Tag a friend who needs to prepare for their reduced meat token allocation. Your social media outreach work will be noted in your annual compliance review. G'day, Australia.
Else is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass, your meat farts, your meat sweats. No one wants to fucking hear about it. Okay?
Never gets old, does it? Never gets old. Happy Sunday, guys. Welcome to another live episode of the Carnivore or the Me of the Matter podcast. Today we have a few special guests. Today we have Selena and Victoria. How are you guys today?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very, very well. And we also have Peter. Tony won't be here today, so myself and Peter are going to run the show today. So I want you guys to sit back, relax, because we have a lot to debunk today. So first of all, we're going to start off with a video that I put up during the week. I'm sure we're going to have a lot to say on it. So Peter, when you're ready, let's put it up.
Yes, and shall we start with Lane Norton then?
Yeah, let's put it up.
Okay, that's
let's
tough
get
one.
it up and running.
This guy is absolutely out of his freaking mind.
What's killed more people, alcohol or sugar?
Sugar.
Fentanyl or sugar? Heroin
Sugar.
or sugar?
Sugar.
Cocaine or sugar?
Sugar. When Lincoln was president, the average American ate less than 1 pound of sugar per person per year. Now, the low number is 250 pounds of sugar per person per year, and as high as 350 pounds of sugar. And you go, come on, Vinny, you're saying a pound a day?
Oh my God. I really like it when people like this put hard numbers on things because I can do this thing called math. Let's look at the low end, 311 grams of sugar per day. The actual data shows that at the highest point, it's around 125 grams per day. Dr. Norton, where did he get those numbers? And let me tell you, my dear Watson, he made it up. Just like he made up that sugar has killed more people than alcohol, fentanyl, heroin, cocaine. No, hell no, absolutely not, bullshit, no, not even close, no,
God, please, no!
So what does the actual data say about the risk of death with sugar intake? Over 20% of your calories from sugar is associated with approximately a 30% increased risk of mortality. But they also found increased risk of mortality at very low levels of sugar intake. And the risk of mortality from obesity is higher than the risk of mortality from sugar intake by quite a bit, which suggests that the effect of sugar on mortality is completely explained by the fact that people overconsume calories and become obese. Gee, I wonder how much the risk of mortality is from heroin. 300 to 400% increased risk. I don't know about you, but 300 to 400% sure sounds like a lot more than 30%. It is easy to get on these podcasts and just make stuff up because unfortunately, most people are just going to watch these podcasts and go, oh, yeah. And nobody's actually going to fact check. Sorry, buddy. You can't just get on and spout random bullshit because it's not cool. So make it up.
You literally... Right here. Right, so who wants to take a stab at this one first?
And that's us, those podcasts.
Oh my god. Like, always trust your doctor, what? Right, Celine, let's start with you.
Like, really? Always trust your doctor? I think if I had listened 100% to what the doctors were telling me, I'd probably already be dead.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so obviously he's not taking any account for carbohydrates being turned into sugars at all, which is a common nomer that people knows happens, whether they're carnivore, vegan, any diet. Like it's a common understanding that carbohydrates end up as a sugar in the body. Now, how much people actually understand what that effect is, that's questionable, but he definitely is not taking into account. He's taking just added sugar. He's not even taking fruit sugars. He's not even he's just calculating added sugars alone, which yeah, is only like 68 grams. If you're talking added confectional processed sugar alone. But that's also only looking at the fact that we're talking about the standard named sugar, not the other 28 sugar compounds that are in every product that is processed practically, that people don't even realize are a sugar because they're given a special name to slide under the belt. So that alone tells me that he's kind of like taking the narrative that he wants and deciding to make content just based off of the whole like let me scream louder than you versus what's the reality, what are the actual facts.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that I'm good. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead,
don't think
Victoria.
I don't think he looked up any numbers either. When I saw that a couple weeks ago, I tried to find out what the real numbers were. And yeah, there is no appreciation of the fact that all carbohydrates turn to sugar in the body. And why does he think people are obese? It's really, they call him Lame Norton for a reason. He's not checking his facts either. So he's not fighting facts with facts. He's just making up numbers and doing exactly what he's blaming other people for doing.
Yeah, just hiding all the facts pretty much. What about yourself? Sorry, Selena, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's funny that it's the whole kettle, calling the pot, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. What about yourself here?
Oh, well, yeah, well, he's playing with the numbers, I think. So also talking about this comment here below, he says that he can do math. Well, he can just calculate a little bit, I think. So he's either overestimating himself, or he's very, very smart and he's playing with numbers, because he's talking about relative numbers. So a 300% risk increase when you take heroin, yeah, of course, it's obviously more damaging to take heroin than sugar. But not so many people take heroin or even alcohol. If you would add up the numbers and look at absolute numbers, that the damage of sugar and carbohydrates, starches, and all those things are way worse. And yeah, like Selena said, he's just trying to put it in his direction, the story, and yeah, none of it. Well, maybe it is actually even factually true, the numbers that he mentions, but yeah, he's just playing with it.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing as you, Pierre. Like when you look at the heroin use and the alcohol use, it's nowhere near as big as our sugar intake. You only need to look at our children. Our children are developing fatty liver disease as young as 6 or 7 years of age, and none of these kids drink alcohol. None of these people are taking drugs. So it's like, okay, well, what's causing the problems? What's causing the damage? Why do we have a national obesity crisis at the moment? And everybody just blames on calories. Everybody just blames on genetics, but nobody has a clue about what food we're eating. And then when you do mention to these doctors, do you know what actually a carbohydrate is? They're like, yeah, I know what a carbohydrate is, but you know what it does inside the body? And they haven't got a clue. Haven't got a clue.
They don't. And only recently have we discovered that fructose is at work. All the time we've been testing for glucose. And only recently have we started the fructose tolerance test to determine how fructose is turning into uric acid in the body. And he's just not considering metabolic disease as being caused by sugar. And metabolic disease extends into heart disease, arterial disease, autoimmune illnesses. he's just not there. He just doesn't know what he's talking about, basically.
The other thing that's interesting to compare the sugar to heroin detriment is like, well, one, nobody does heroin to the continuous daily extent that we ingest sugar. So it's like, yes, if you were to break heroin down into a smaller incremental dosage and spread that out throughout the day, throughout the weeks, throughout the years, is it really, do we know that factually? Or do we just know that somebody just took a hyper concentrated dose? They do it a couple times, maybe a day, if they're like, you know, sadly strung out on the streets, hanging out in the you know, tent cities. But we take that sugar dosage and we spread it out and we slowly poison ourselves with it. It's not a sudden hit at full force. Did we take all of the only 68 grams that he's mentioning of added sugars, and we didn't just, like, you know, take a shot of that and then go about our day? I mean, could you imagine if we did that to our bodies? Like, hell.
Yeah.
Like this.
And see, the most important thing here is the addiction part. Like, you ask any person, can you go a week without carbohydrates, or even a day without carbohydrates? Most people will say no. I can't deal without my carbohydrates. So if you can't go without these foods, well, then obviously it's an addiction.
And that goes for fruit just as much. I mean, I have family members that, you know, eat healthy according to their dietary recommendations, and I don't think that they can go 2 hours without chomping down a bowl of fruit.
No.
And I'm like, that's because you're addicted to the sugar. You know, you're needing that dopamine hit that happens from the sugar. You can't live without it.
Yeah, like Byron said, like what's going on in the world at the moment is we're focusing too much on calories. So when you look at something on the front, it's like, okay, it has low calories, it has low fat, so ideally it's going to be very, very good for us. Or you'll see something that has sugar free or has no sugar in it whatsoever. But I think you mentioned at the very beginning, Selena, like there's hidden sugars in everything. I think there's over 100 names of different sugars in our foods at the moment.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's crazy, and I don't think people understand that when it comes to sugar, regardless where it comes from, it impacts the body the exact same way. So it's not about, like, it's not, sorry, Tony, Peter, it's not a matter of saying, okay, you just need to cut out your processed food. We all know how bad processed food is, and I think any diet that advocates that is good, but we should be doing the exact same now when it comes to fruits and carbohydrates, and we should be questioning, okay, these a little bit and saying, okay, well, we still have a national crisis, we still have a major crisis at the moment, so maybe we should do a little bit more research into this.
Absolutely.
I'm just going to shortly interrupt because we seem to having a humming noise. So I'm not sure where it's coming from, but can you check your cables?
Is that me?
It might, oh yeah, it's a fan in the background.
It's off.
Oh, okay. So, but it seems to be better now.
Oh, good.
I can hear you a little bit better now, Selena.
Oh, good.
Good stuff.
Sorry about that.
Right, so let's move on to the next one. Let's move on.
Yeah,
to the next
well,
one,
there's
Peter.
one more thing that I mentioned it already a little bit, that he's playing with numbers. But what's also disingenuous is just the fact that people tend to mix up carbohydrates and sugar and all those things. So today I was actually in a discussion about whether your muscles and your brain need carbohydrates, because that's a story that comes up continuously. And people always conveniently replace glucose with carbohydrates. So either they don't understand it, that carbohydrates aren't in your blood, because there's only one single carbohydrate in your blood, which is glucose. Well, and there's maybe some fructose, but it's just playing with words also in this case. And that bothers me really, really a lot. And I'm sure that Lane Norton knows these things as well. And he will put up the same argument as well.
But see, the thing is, like, when you're addicted to something, you're going to do whatever it takes to fight for it. That's how it works, pretty much. So you can clearly see he loves his carbohydrates. He's probably a drinker as well. I found it absolutely hilarious when he mentioned at the beginning that alcohol kills more people than sugar, but he doesn't realize that the ingredient in alcohol is sugar. So
Yes.
I found that incredible, especially from someone who's mentally intelligent and who's a doctor. But yeah, you're right, Peter. At the end of the day, your body needs glucose. We've mentioned this many, many times. Your body needs glucose, your muscles need, but you can produce this through the muscle and the liver. And we
Yeah.
can also get this through an animal-based diet through gluconeogenesis. So I don't understand why people just don't look this word up.
Yeah, you don't need science for it because we are proof, because otherwise our glycogen reserves would be depleted. And if you look at the animal world, I mean, of course, humans are different, but physiology, endocrinology, and all those things, they are sort of the same. I mean, that's the reason why we do lab tests in mice, for example. I mean, you cannot draw definitive conclusions about humans, but surely things like insulin, cholesterol, and all those things, they basically function the same in all those animals. And it's just funny when you bring those arguments up, then they will always go to these things like, oh, appeal to nature fallacy, or however you want to call it. And that's
Yeah,
you
I heard someone brought in God the other day. Dr. Chafee had a short video about how carbohydrates are simply not essential. And at least 2 or 3 people were saying, oh, does he think he knows better than God? We were given fruits of the earth in the Bible. And it's like, well, there's your ultimate authority. So it's hard to argue with that, isn't it? So yeah, people will bring in any justification.
Yeah.
Right, Peter, let's move on to the next video. What
Yes.
have we got?
One of the underappreciated aspects of these plant-based meats and just processed foods in general is that we can reformulate them, right? You can't just do that with a cow overnight. They're modifying these foods to actually be healthier. Now, we have data on the older products showing that they're already healthier than the alternative.
Honestly, if this is the best we have on social media, we're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. I don't know where to start with this one. These are the people that we look up to when our health turns to shit. Our doctors are the ones that we go to for always for advice. If they're coming out with this information, guys, and are telling us that processed meats are a lot healthier than the real thing, I can tell you right now, we are fucked.
Now, we have data on the older products showing that they're already healthier than the alternative. And with the swap meat trial, they compared Beyond Meat to even organic and grass-fed meat products, and the Beyond Meat fared better.
Next time you guys are doing your food shop, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to the vegan stand and I want you to pick up one of these fucking Beyond Meat burgers. I want you to take a look at the ingredients and then you let me know which is the healthy alternative, this or just a normal burger.
It's really hard to shift people's minds around this. And I'm not saying like, listen, you should just knock yourself out with these products. You should be sourcing your nutrition from whole foods close to their natural state as often and as much as possible.
Couldn't agree more. Guys, if you didn't hear what the host said, go back and listen to it again. When it comes to our food supply, it should come from natural sources, not food that was made in a fucking lab. So you can see I was quite riled up about that video. I've actually spoken to this Dr. Niagara in the past, and he's absolutely convinced that this is the future. We should be all on a plant-based diet. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm really worried. I just think that this could happen now in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's stuck in the old paradigm of low fat, and his standard for what is healthier is that low fat concept. And he just ignores the rest of it, all the other nonsense that's in those processed imitation meats. It's just, that's where he's losing out. He's still stuck.
I just don't understand how we've gotten to a stage when we're demonizing just meat on its own, and we're pushing people towards meat, as I mentioned at the end, that was just made in the lab. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't understand why people don't question this. And at the end of the day, if you're walking around bloated and there's issues with you, people will just say, "Oh, listen, I'm broken. It's just genetics." That's just what happens when I get older. But nobody will factor in like what we mentioned at the beginning. What are you putting into your body?
Right.
Like, what's the food that you're putting into your body? It all comes down to that at the end of the day. No matter how many times you question stuff, it all comes down to what are you eating on a daily basis. I just don't get it.
There's this weird thought process that I think people forget, that something that is synthetically produced doesn't necessarily mean that the ingredients are not coming from a natural source per se, but it synthetically did not grow. It did not produce in that form, right? That makes it a synthetic synthesis for our bodies to try to break down. And when you look at that fact that you're going to ingest this and your body's going to try to process this, how well do we function as a human when we have to have a synthetic organ put in place for surgical needs, when we have to have a fake stent, when we have to have any of these things that are put into our bodies that are not naturally derived and came with it? We do not handle it well. We do not function with it well. Can we function with it? Of course. Do we thrive optimally with it? No, we don't. It doesn't matter. It's like, and I'm not trying to put this down for people who it's like, yes, this has saved lives. Some of these, things have helped people to stay here versus not being here any longer. But when you look at the concept of that and go, okay, now we're going to do the same thing with our food. And now you're going to be ingesting this in your body. How do you think your body is going to function and run when we can't even function and run off of a synthetic product for other things when they're put into our bodies? It just seems like common sense.
Now, it's also overconfidence that, if you want to make an artificial food or an artificial organ, of course, as you said, artificial organs, they help us to survive. But it's overconfidence saying that you know how it functions in all details. So also with food, in a way, you should only start making these foods maybe in a few centuries or so when you are 100% confident that you're able to reproduce the entire food matrix with vitamins, minerals. And if you look at this video, this guy is stuck in the 60s, 70s when we didn't know much more than fats and proteins and carbohydrates. But we are in all those decades learning so much about all the micronutrient value of the foods, even now. Also in meat, I think we know only, well, maybe not half, but a bit more, but we know not everything of what's in it, at least, and what its role is.
100%. What about yourself, Victoria?
I think to expound on what Selena said, we don't know what's in these laboratory products because they include chemicals that have been compounded elsewhere and whose ingredient values are not provided. We don't know if they're using some kind of stearate or alcohol or what else. Where did that come from? What are its components and how carcinogenic or not are those things? We really don't know what the heck is in these mystery meats. They truly are a mystery.
Yeah. And one of the few ingredients that we do know that is one of the highest ingredient profiles in the percentage of specifically the Beyond Burger is canola oil. We already know that that's trash for us. Like already.
Yeah, and see, we demonize sugar, and rightfully so, but seed oils are even worse because these are going to be in the body for a very, very long time. A very, very long time. And this is what's causing the damage.
Here's a good point also from Byron. That's small differences in food and small imbalances can trigger anything in the body because your body is very sensitive. If you're talking about micronutrients, it's about very small quantities and enzymes and prebiotics and all those things. And also on the negative side, of course, you can imagine that there's all kinds of stuff that if you don't reproduce certain protein or molecule exactly as it is in natural form, then it's going to be doing possibly different things. If you look at vitamin C, for example, it's not just ascorbic acid. It's much more when you find it in natural foods. So I got this discussion on a video about ground meat in the supermarket where they add ascorbic acid. And on itself, it's probably not that harmful, but it's totally different from vitamin C that you find in natural foods. So it's going to act differently.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you here. It's honestly, I'm just really, really worried about what's going to happen in the future. Because all I'm seeing at the moment, I'm seeing so many people that are actually buying this stuff. And it's honestly, it's just really, really worrying. It really is. It's just crazy how we're pushing people towards this. And it's crazy because when you think about it, like we were told years ago that plants should be part of the diet. Now people are saying they should be more plants in your diet than protein. So this is the worrying trend we're seeing at the moment. Is like, forget about the protein, just add more fiber to your diet. This is the reason why we're struggling.
Well, I'm still a little bit hopeful, by the way, Mark. I mean, if you look around, maybe it's the bubble that we are in, but I get the impression at least that people are not that enthusiastic about the Beyond Meat and those products. So
I hope so.
In the supermarket, when I look at the stand with the fake fake cheeses and the fake, the fake meats and all the things, I never see anybody. So that's
hopefully it's going the right direction. But Peter, talking about that, let's show the audience exactly what you eat on a daily basis.
Okay, yeah. Well, there's a lot to tell about this week, so I'll keep it simple because I didn't have much time. But let's talk about butter. So I eat a lot of butter.
How many views did this get?
This video, it's 15 seconds. I was eating butter from a package. Well, we all make those videos on TikTok and everywhere. But apparently I hit some Dutch TikTok meme of some other guy that I didn't know. So this video got 100,000 views, which doesn't happen that often for me. And but yeah, you get all the strangest comments. Did
you enjoy that, Peter?
It was actually not very nice butter, but that was the only one I had at the moment.
I could only imagine the comments coming in.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that people take it seriously. I mean, I have no problem eating a bite of butter before sleeping, and sometimes I actually like it. I mean, it can help you to have good sleep, but of course, I don't eat the entire package. So there are a few things that people assume that I do this every day. I eat the entire package of butter, which I didn't, because before sleeping, I'm not going to eat half a pound of butter.
Right.
And but yeah, people take it seriously, and they start talking like, oh, it's unhealthy. And if you eat this Magnum ice cream, an entire Magnum ice cream, that's about the same as my 2 or 3 bites of butter. And apparently, as soon as you exclude the sugar, if you exclude all the seed oils and additives, then it becomes unhealthy. Because the saturated fats are in the Magnum ice cream as well. I mean, they are probably the bad. Well, hopefully it's milk. It's coming from milk, the saturated fats, but it's probably also plant-based fats and all those things.
Yeah, I know Eddie did this on social media a few weeks ago. He was just sitting in a park. I think he was sitting in a park somewhere, and he had a ribeye in his hand, and he was chewing on it. Or no, sorry, he had a Magnum in his hand first.
Magnum,
and people walking past him, nobody had any issues with it whatsoever. And then literally after he finished, he had a ribeye in his hands, and he was walking down the streets, and everybody was saying like, "Are you not worried about your cholesterol? Are you not worried about this?" Is like, holy shit, like it's crazy. It's amazing because this is something that I see at the moment. Same with Bella. When Bella puts up these videos of her eating butter and steak and whatever, this is what gets huge views. This is what gets people talking. It's insane. Like, you don't need to say anything. Just literally eat a steak in front of the camera, and it'll blow up very, very quickly.
I thought it was hilarious where I had one where I took a bite of a stick of butter and I was using it to like point at the points on the screen that I was doing. The comments I got under that video were insane. I mean, absolutely insane. Like, exactly like you were talking about. People are like, you're gonna die of a heart attack because of this, and you're doing. And I'm like, in the video, I literally had a bite, Like, I'm, guys, this is not as crazy as you think it is. Now, for sleep, like what you were talking about, Peter, our youngest son, our 3-year-old, he gets, we call it a tab of butter. So he gets probably like half of a tablespoon of butter every night. He knows when it's time for bed because it's like, hey, it's time to get ready for bed. And he goes, okay, I need butter, mommy. Because he does. He sleeps better. He's, he's calmer. And that says a lot. Not every time. He is a wild child, but.
Did you make a video about that, or maybe I've seen it somewhere else? Also, somebody giving butter to their infant.
I did not. We do not put our little one on the internet at all. So I did not. I'll talk about him, but I don't show him.
Yeah, I find that as well. I find that really good as well. Actually, when I'm going to sleep, I find that when I'm eating more fat, I actually have a very, very good night's sleep. I find that if I'm eating a lot of protein, I'm up all night. I just have I feel great, but I just can't sleep at all. I'll only get probably 1 or 2 hours sleep. So yeah, for me, like I always make sure that when I'm going to bed, my fat intake is very, very high.
Yeah. And the Dutch meme, by the way, was a big fat guy doing exactly the same, or maybe not before sleeping, but he was always eating from a package of vegetable margarine. But yeah, he also died at an age of, I don't know, 60 or so. So it's I'm not saying that's connected, but it was.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
The fact that people would even compare butter to margarine is a joke at all.
Yeah.
And you look at the amount of butters that are in the shops nowadays. There's just so much.
Well, in Ireland there are
so much.
It's a massive wall of butter in the supermarket. I went into a supermarket in Dublin, could not believe my eyes, and 90% of them are grass fed. At least 95 or 100% of them.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
and they're all delicious.
Like, it's insane.
Envious.
It's just insane. I walk into my local supermarket and you could easily pick up at least 25 different forms of butter.
Yes,
easily.
Yes.
Same with cheese. It's absolutely insane. And you can clearly see what's happening. These companies are just going for the cheaper brands.
Yeah.
Whereas the likes of we produce probably one of the best butters in the world in this country. But it's very expensive. Whereas you could buy margarine for half the price. And see, that's the big issue at the moment as well, because a lot of people, I'm sure in your country is the same. A lot of people are struggling financially. They can't afford this. Yeah. They can't afford to eat. Like a block of Irish butter now in this country now is you're looking at about nearly €4 or €5 for it. Whereas before,
a block is half a pound, right?
Yeah. About €4 or €5. It's about $6 or something like that.
Well,
it's very, very expensive.
I pay $11 a pound at the local supermarket, and that's a good price for it.
I don't get why they have to keep on hyping the prices of all the time.
Right. Yeah, I'm not much different than you, Victoria. Ours here for Kerrygold is like $8.89 for a pound.
Yeah, wow. Still that's expensive. That's really, really about twice as much as it could or should be. But I eat that 114 grams or quarter a pound a day, and I'm very happy. And I should do some on camera.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. But if you look at the price, I mean, in terms of euros or dollars per calorie, then it's not that bad. I mean, of course, you can go for beef tallow, homemade beef tallow, and you'll pay like a few dollars per pound. But still, it's like $4 or $5 per, what is it? 2,000 calories or so. So in theory, if you're doing a butter fast, which is also a thing that, I mean, eating a lot of butter, I'm not really in favor. I mean, munching on butter throughout the day. But if you do a butter fast for, say, 2 days, that can actually be a very useful method, like a sort of healthy version of the sugar diet. And I've done it like 1 or 2 times. And also, it's you lose weight.
Ketosis,
yeah. It goes really fast.
It's a great tool when you're backed up, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't been in years, so. Wild carnivore.
Yeah, for my oldest son, he's recently been eating more carnivore based, and he's been going several days now, fairly strict carnivore. And he's kind of like weaning himself in and out. He's 17, so I only have so much I can push before he's just like, okay, mom. But but he had that come up. He was like, Mom, is it normal that I'm not like going to the bathroom like every day? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's possible. You know, like it could be fine. You should be fine. And I said, are you having a hard time? And he was like, no. And he goes, okay. I said, because if you are finding you're having a hard time, you need to up those fats. I said, you might need to start eating slower.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me like I was nuts. I was like, I'm not kidding.
Not kidding. It's
Yeah.
true.
This is actually a true story. This is no word of a lie. I worked with a lady there about 2 years ago, and she came on board and she wanted to lose weight, and I put her on a high fat diet at the very, very beginning, like really, really high. I think about 85% of her overall caloric intake was coming from fats. And I told her on her plan, I said, listen, make sure you stay at home in the next couple of days because you want to stay as close to the toilet as possible. And she didn't listen to me. And this swear to God, this is no word of a lie. She was walking around the local park, and I got a random call off somebody, and it was her. And she was like, Mark, I need to go to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet. And I was like, well, listen, you're gonna have to go in the bush. You're gonna have to go. Like, you're not gonna be able to rush home. She's about 20 minutes away from her home. And this woman shat on herself.
Oh dear.
She actually had to call her husband to collect her. This is no word of a lie. This is a true story. No word of a lie. She actually had to sit on herself in the park and just pretend that nothing actually happened until he came along.
Oh gosh.
But honest to God, it's unbelievable. I'd recommend to anybody that, listen, if you're going on this diet, make sure, especially for the first couple of days, you're at home or you're somewhere close to a toilet, because as what's her name, Courtney Luna says, never trust a fart.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll never forget when she says that. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, my husband lives by that motto now.
Let's move on from that talk. Right, Peter, what's next? Let's move on.
Yeah, let's write something down.
These guys are getting richer while you're getting sicker. Write that down. 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 These foods are highly processed, complete garbage, and I can promise you now, I wouldn't even give it to my fucking dog. Write that down.
Oh, and now I've got to find it. Yeah, here it is.
I just found out that sauerkraut can be more effective than antidepressants.
No, it can't. If you like sauerkraut, eat sauerkraut. It's great. But food is not medicine, and food cannot cure your depression. We have some evidence that your overall diet can have an impact on how you feel. That makes sense, but one specific food is going to do fuck all. This video plays off the latest craze and trend about microbiome and gut health and all of the stuff that sounds sexy, but really isn't. Make sure that your diet includes food that brings you joy. That's important for your mental health as well.
Right, I'm gonna address this shortly, but before I do, I want you guys to watch this video.
I think it's a long talk, so you can better tell it here.
Yeah. Well, basically, as he mentions, I want to hear everybody's opinion on this. So he's a doctor, no surprise there, but he's mentioning that when it comes to food, it's never going to be medicine. So I'm pretty certain he's like, okay, forget about the food, just push yourself towards medicine. Where have we heard that before?
Oh, everywhere. And my reaction to this was he's not aware that Harvard University, which at least in the United States has set standards for centuries, not just decades. They started on, I'll tell you, March 5th, 2024, they opened a research center and clinic in McLean Hospital in Boston. It's Dr. Christopher Palmer is leading the metabolic research department there. And they are using the keto diet, not even carnivore yet, but I'm sure they'll get there, to regulate gut health and whatever else they're trying to do. But yeah, it's not unheard of. And we're looking at a very esteemed university pursuing this line of thinking right now. And that doctor in the video is way out of touch because there's a lot more research behind this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's yeah.
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, no, well, you see it in a lot of other fields, and maybe when sticking to food and nutrition, if you look at sports, there they do believe that food affects your performance and all those things. So that's one thing, but also in totally different fields with your car, or if you are hi-fi enthusiastic, then the sound quality already starts with the quality of the electricity that's coming into your device. I mean, some people can hear the differences. And so just to give an idea, I mean, those devices are very simple. A car is also relatively simple compared to a human body. And why is the human body not affected by food? I'd say that it's just crazy.
It also ignores the fact that that new study that recently came out about how the low carb keto / carnivore diet is repairing mental health such as schizophrenia. So if changing your diet does not help any of your mental health, did we just completely ignore that whole research study that just got published? I mean, like, really? It doesn't affect your health? What you eat, your microbiome, which I did not know that was such a sexy word, by the way. I'm aware now. But that your microbiome doesn't affect your mental health. I mean, there have been studies coming out over the last year that have been showing and proving the complete opposite, that there is a complete symbiosis between the two. So, like, either way, food's not medicine. That's news to me.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like anything you feed the gut is going to impact the brain. We all know this. So if you feed your gut crap, it's going to have a huge impact. So it's mental. Like I know for me, like I tried every single diet over the years with myself. I could never get it right, and I've been in the fitness industry now for over 25 years now. And I thought I could easily fix this because I've studied nutrition, but I could never get it right. And every time I did try and get it right, it would actually get worse. A lot worse. I've mentioned this before, like I've been in shape many times, but the biggest thing for me was always the mental health. I could never get rid of the mental health issues. I suffered with depression, deep depression, for a very long time. And I've mentioned many times that I just didn't want to be here. And when I realized what was causing the problems, I was like, okay, I need to question this. But if I'm going to keep on questioning, I need to try it at least. Just remove all the vegetables, remove all the sugars, remove all the processed food, remove all the carbohydrates. And nobody can tell me that what I'm eating now doesn't work, because I haven't had any mental issues at all. I wake up now with a purpose. The way I see it is now I have a second lease in life now. And I think people need to be aware of that, because the biggest factor that we're seeing at the moment, especially with young kids at the moment, I know Jonathan speaks a lot about this, is their mental health. A lot of young kids now are going through mental health issues at the moment. Like you can see it, a lot of stress, and everybody's just blaming on like college and going to school. But I don't believe that. I believe that a lot of these youths are just eating the wrong food. And I think you can see it. They're relying on energy drinks. There's so much food. There's so many options they can choose from. Honestly, it's very worrying. It really is. And I think that unless we stop it, then the rates of mental health, unfortunately, those numbers are just going to keep on increasing every year.
Yeah, and it's all about. I mean, in my opinion, it's all about sugar and carbohydrates in the gut, because they always like to talk about the good microbiome and the good bacteria, But the point is that with all the sugars, you are promoting bacterial growth, also of the bad ones. And that's also the reason, I think at least, why adding fiber helps so much, and why adding certain fibers that promote the growth of bacteria that make those small chain fatty acids and that sort of things. But it's in that context. If you just remove the carbohydrates and all those things, you probably don't need them. And every time, again, I hear this argument like, well, if you go on the carnivore diet, you miss the good bacteria. Well, what are the good bacteria? That's unclear. And it makes sense to think that the gut microbiome is just a consequence of your diet and your lifestyle. So yeah, and also again, I like to bring up this argument again, like half of the animal world is also not eating any vegetables or fruits. And do they all have a bad microbiome? Are they getting colon cancer and all those things? Are they, well, mentally ill, depressed? Yeah, however that looks like in an animal, but it's just, yeah, that's the worst thing I always come across, is that when people take things out of context. I mean, our nutrition science and all the nutrition advice is all rooted in the 60s, 70s when we started, well, basically when we started nutrition science. And of course, we were all eating this, well, already a bit low fat and anyway, high carb diets. And of course, in those contexts, most of those things are true. You add in milk, you add in sauerkraut, you add in fiber. It all helps. It all helps to mitigate the actual problem.
But like you said, Peter, like if you just eliminate the problem in the first place, we wouldn't need fiber. That's the problem. Like that's why people keep on focusing on fiber, because it slows down the absorption of the sugar. But where does that sugar come from?
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's the same thing with fiber. So the argument that you hear about proteins and fat is that they are not efficient. It takes time to break them down and to convert them to glucose. And what are we doing? We are adding a bunch of fiber to reduce the absorption of carbohydrates. So also again, in the context of sports, it's total nonsense, because once the glucose is absorbed in your body, it will just be stored, it will be buffered in your glycogen reserves. And it doesn't matter how fast those processes are in your digestive system. And you could argue probably that it's better that it's slow, because even for protein, it's better. I mean, I think your body likes to have a constant flow of protein, so it has the time to process them and use them. And yeah, with fats, the same probably. So yeah, it's every time an argument that is just convenient, like, okay, fast carbohydrate conversion, so probably is efficient for your muscles. It's just convenience.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, Victoria, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I'd like to chime in here against plant oils, and I do mean all plant oils and plants that have oils like avocados. Plant oils contain polyphenols, or sterols, and I forget the other name of them. They block the uptake of cholesterol in the cells. And that does two primary things. It does other things, but primarily what it's doing is it's preventing your body from repairing your cells, and it's also preventing your body from generating hormones. And without those hormones, you're going to be off balance. There definitely is a link between hormone balance and mental health. And once you get rid of those plant oils in your diet, you're going to have cholesterol come in and help you produce a hormonal balance. And that's not a disputed fact. That's the way it works. So.
I think we have a couple of questions in there, Peter, did we?
Yeah, well, I put this one up. I think that's nice. It's related to what we talked about. It's apparently about a girl that solved schizophrenia symptoms. So yeah, I'd recommend everybody to look her up on YouTube. And then, here's the channel name actually.
Bacon Baby, is that her name?
No, Lexis Jones.
Oh, Lexis Jones, yeah. Sorry, Selena, did you want to say something there?
Oh, I don't know. No.
Okay.
I did, but my brain's now tracked some. tracked over. Not sure.
No, I was just gonna say, I just fully agree with you what you were saying, Peter, about the fiber. I think that every time I have this conversation with a nutritionist or a dietitian, it always comes up the same thing that we need to have fiber. Now, like you mentioned, if we're eating the standard American diet or the standard European diet, then yeah, there's probably a case of eating fiber because it's going to slow things down. But then you got to look at the gut health. If you're walking around bloated and you're not feeling good and your energy is not feeling the best, well, then obviously it's not optimal. It's not going to keep you going then long term. So you need to look at it and say, well, even though I'm full and I'm not eating on a regular basis, well, if you're still walking around bloated, it's still not going to be good for you. And if you are walking around bloated and then you need a probiotic and then you need a digestive enzyme to erase all this, well, then obviously it's not going to work. And this is what we hear a lot at the moment. A lot of people will eat it. A lot of people will eat a lot of fiber, but you can hear this is where people suffer with IBS. They have those digestive issues, and then they think it's just them. It's just something wrong with me. It's just me. But then when you ask them, like, okay, what are you eating? Oh, I'm eating like 5 portions of vegetables a day because my dietitian told me. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, obviously we need to eliminate that quickly. But then how do you actually balance that conversation? Because every time you mention this to somebody, they're absolutely convinced that this is what we should be doing. When it comes to our when it comes to our health, we'll get all the nutrients that we need from vegetables. But like I mentioned, if you have serious issues with your gut and it's impacting your brain, it could be simply down to the amount of vegetables that we're eating. And that's pretty much what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm bloated, I mean, even on carnivore, it can happen if I do something a bit out of the ordinary with dairy or so. I feel bad the next day. So it's very simple. I mean, it has a direct effect on your mental health. And if you eat vegetables all day, I would also question whether you absorb all the minerals and vitamins in those vegetables, especially if you are bloated. And I wonder if it has ever been measured, actually, because I know that, for example, with oysters, I've read this experiment that they measured like how the zinc absorption was. There's this story about if you add in the black beans, then it goes down. And there they, I think, measured actually in the urine or so how much zinc was absorbed. And I wonder actually how this is done with vegetables. Have they measured it with spinach, for example, or other vegetables? Like, how much of the iron in it is actually absorbed?
Exactly.
That's probably very difficult, but yeah, I would argue that it's questionable at least.
They have done a study. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it's been several years now, showing what the absorption rate was. But the suggestion is often to just supplement in other ways.
Or eat more.
What it does to the body. And the other factor that a lot of people, it's like they know, they've started to become aware of it a little bit, who choose to eat this plant-based food, is that timing. So they eat this food and say they are actually eating any form of protein in addition to plants, right? Well, if they eat their protein first and then they eat their plant food, that plant material is actually fermenting and rotting before it actually goes through the full digestive system. So before you've even been able to absorb what you could have, you've already lost the majority of what it could have possibly provided you, because it's already gone into a degradative state before it ever reached through the full digestive system to be absorbed. So it's go ahead, Victoria.
No, I didn't want to interrupt you, dear, but I wanted to get back on the cholesterol bandwagon. I saw in the comments that Byron said something about without protein, your neurotransmitters don't function; they dysfunction, and it's true of cholesterol too. If cholesterol is blocked from your body on a low-fat diet where you're getting the plant fats, it cannot repair your the myelin sheaths of your neurons. It's just not happening. And this is why we get into dementia and Alzheimer's. So yes, there's very much a direct connection that science already knows about, that without the cholesterol being active and able to repair these cells, you're going to lose your mental functions very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and it's interesting when you talked about the food passing through the intestinal tract. I was also thinking about protein. I read recently somewhere, that's an argument that's mentioned a lot, that fermenting protein are bad, and I don't know what it causes exactly, maybe cancer or so, but that's when they arrive in the colon. So apparently that's bad. And of course that is presented as an argument again against carnivore. But yeah, people don't realize that if you eat protein on carnivore diet, they are already gone before they reach the colon. So it's it's all context again. It's
Yes.
just,
and often it usually isn't fully absorbed through by the time it reaches the colon if they are eating a high carbohydrate diet in addition to eating the meats and fats. And so it's not that it's the meats and the fats, it's the process and the reaction that happens when these things are joined together, but they don't ever talk about
the
that.
sugar especially, that's also there.
Yeah, 100%. Well, guys, we've reached 60 minutes. I'm pretty sure we covered an awful lot there. Before we go, Selena, where can people go to find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Primal Fox Health all day, every day.
Amazing. And Victoria?
Yeah, well, I have a Facebook group for people over age 40, and that's Carnivore Diet After Age 40 on Facebook. And I also have, in a partnership with Mark, we have another channel on YouTube called Carnivore Evolution. And the address for that is Carnivore Evolution, all one word, 2024, all together.
Thanks very much, Victoria. And yourself, Peter?
I'm the Dutch carnivore.
Amazing. And I know Tony's not here, but Tony, what's his one, Peter? Tony underscore.
Tony Stewart Coach, and
underscore.
I always forget.
Yeah, and Tony will be back next week. He has a really busy day, but he'll be definitely back next week. And we've actually interviewed Selena and Victoria as well on our podcast. Two amazing stories they've actually mentioned. So if you guys want to go back and have a listen there on this show as well. If you guys want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me as well. I'm on social media at fitnessbeyondtime01. And if you want to send me an email, it's nsmarket93@gmail.com. Before we go, guys, any last minute words? Everybody okay?
Too many words.
About a lot of things.
Yeah.
Too many words. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.